folks, we're all about economic opportunities for African Americans, and Major League Baseball has a new initiative, a fellowship program that you should be aware of. Of course, black folks have a long history in Major League Baseball, of course. When it comes to on the executive side, Bill White became the first black president of the National League in 1989. The former player and broadcaster was the first African American to hold a major position in sports. Leonard Coleman followed him as National League president before the position was abolished in 1999. Also, Jimmy Lee Solomon started in 1991 as Major League Baseball's director of minor league relations, ended up as executive vice president of baseball development in 2010. And of course, Frank Robinson was the first African-American manager of a major league team for the Cleveland Indians and is still very much involved in baseball. So what they have now is a fellowship program where 20-plus teams will create a position there. Plus, we have 3 positions on the executive side, including with the commissioner of Major League Baseball. Joining us right now from New York City is Renee Tirado, vice president of talent and head of diversity and inclusion for Major League Baseball. Renee, so explain the fellowship program and what are you looking for?
Good morning, Roland. Thank you. Yes, we just launched our fellowship program. We are looking for rising seniors, candidates that will be graduating in 2018, or we can have lateral hires coming out of anywhere the last post 2 years. So 2016 and on. We are looking for the best and the brightest candidates. That's really what this is all about at the end of the day. We welcome all disciplines. Without question, there are certain disciplines that lend themselves better to baseball. So those students who are in STEM, economics, MBAs, pre-law degrees or lawyers are always welcome to come and join us. If you look at our makeup, we have a lot of lawyers in this office, and they've all gone on to a variety of different careers. So we're excited about this, and we want as many candidates as possible to apply.
And in fact, the last hour, we talked to the mayor-elect of Cairo, Georgia, Booker Gaynor, who was an intern for Major League Baseball. He just told us that. And so when we talk about these positions, what will this is not on the player side. This is on the business side of the business.
Yes, just to be more specific, these particular 23 roles are focusing on baseball operations and front office opportunities. So this is exactly for what you see our product on the field. These are for people who are interested in being part of the analytics, the decision making around trades, arbitration, who's playing, how we're matching up pitchers to hitters, etc. So what you see on the field, you would be a part of the team that makes all those decisions.
And so, Renee, with this fellowship, now, is this the first time you had this fellowship program?
It is. This is our first iteration of this. So it's the inaugural class that will come in 2018. We will do this again in 2019 for a new class in 2020.
And with the fellowship, are you hopeful that folks will be able to move from these positions to actually full-time jobs?
Absolutely. The goal is, so the club side is an 18 to 24-month term, and the commissioner's office rotation is 3 years. Ideally, at the end of those terms, is to place you in a front office role or baseball ops role in one of our 30 clubs around the country at some point. This is going to serve essentially exactly what you described earlier as a pipeline for future leadership and talent in those front office baseball ops roles, those high optics opportunities, and to kind of, for lack of a better way of saying it, and no pun intended, change the complexion of baseball.
Well, this is also why one of the points that I keep making. We always talk about young folks, young African Americans who want to play sports. I always make the point you can still be in sports, but not be on the field. And in fact, because the folks who actually behind the scenes and many times can make more money than folks who actually play in the game, and so it creates these new opportunities.
That's absolutely right. So we just want to make sure that we're getting our candidates ready for when those opportunities open up. So through this fellowship program, once you're in place, you're going to get a plethora of support through my team, the diversity and inclusion team. We have a dedicated group just focusing on the pipeline program. We will provide developmental opportunities for this class to make sure we close any gaps, professional gaps, so they're ready. Again, at the end of the term, the idea is that we're placing a future AGM or GM, head of operations at some point. So this is the platform, the launch pad for this. We're going to grow, hone this talent. We've never been more ready to support this type of program. Again, I have a full staff that's dedicated to just making sure these candidates are successful in the future, and we want them to stay in baseball.
All right, then. And so what's the website, again, where folks can apply? And, of course, we want our folks to definitely apply for these fellowships.
Absolutely. The website is www.mlb.com/fellowship, lowercase f. So mlb.com/fellowship.
All right. Renee Tirado, VP for Major League Baseball. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, folks, don't forget the deadline is November 17th, so get the applications in. Real quick to our panel. Look, Major League Baseball has had issues, first of all, with a decreasing number of black folks actually playing the game. But this is, and I've been making this point for years, this is where I believe that colleges and universities and the professional sports have to redefine the narrative. And that is, because you saw, Astros winning the World Series, the Houston Astros, and people talk about Altuve and George Springer and the players, but I think we have to start thinking of black executives in sports as also all-stars. So when a young kid sees that and they go, look, I ain't got the skills to play ball, but yeah, you can still be an accountant, a lawyer, an executive. You can still be an agent. You can still be in the game. That's crucial.
Couldn't agree with you more. And you look at sports, a lot of the coaches and the guys in the front office, they never played the game. And so, but they do have the wherewithal and ability to go out and get these positions.
And working 30, 40, 50 years.
Exactly.
Getting paid.
No concussions. And so I think we do need to put position or put more awareness towards, these kinds of jobs as opposed to playing the game. And again, taking on, things like concussions and other injuries.
And changes the narrative. And also, Major League Baseball, these are men. Women can also be in these positions, Janet.
And if you look and see who the commentators are often on the sidelines, who's doing the PR for the teams, there are lots of jobs that are not gender specific and don't have anything to do with being part of a team. But I couldn't help wondering, as Ms. Tirado was speaking, typically when you see these new diversity efforts, there is some business case that is driving the decision to get engaged. Are they worried about the fan base? Are they worried about the pipeline of supply players coming from the Dominican Republic and other places in Central America? There's something that's making this important right now, other than it being just the right thing to do.
Yeah, and the other thing that comes to mind for me is once we get these fabulous, talented young people in the positions, because they're not on the field, they've got a long lifespan to be there.
Right.
And so we've got to give them support to stay in those positions and graduate through them so that they are in fact in real management and leadership positions throughout the league.
Plus, when you also, even though you might go on a Major League Baseball with this fellowship program, other sports are also paying attention as well. So one can transition to football or basketball or soccer or even all of the sports-related entities. You're talking about your Under Armours, your Nike, your Adidas as well, because this whole community, this is a multi-billion-dollar worldwide community.
Right. Look for the other sports industries like the NFL and the NBA to follow this. But the reality is that for these programs to be successful, it's got to come from the top. They've got to be 100% vested. And then everybody there, whether it's mentorship or otherwise, has to be intentional. Because if the program isn't successful, whether it's by how many people you keep after this 5-year program, then it's just another diversity program. The numbers in diversity, it's a billion-dollar industry, have to change. And you look across industries, non-sports industries, for 40 years we've been valuing diversity, but the numbers haven't changed. Hopefully this will be a program that it does.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.